Hi everybody, it's Dandruff with your news coverage for Monday, December 5th, 2016. This week begins with Death Stranding, which will use the same game engine as Horizon Zero Dawn, another PlayStation exclusive. More on Death Stranding a little later. Paragon has redone their entire map in order to make it smaller and more close quarters. The devs say that this is closer to what they had originally envisioned for the game. Turns out the Crash Bandicoot remake coming next year is being called a Remaster Plus because the game will contain a unified checkpoint and save system and a unified menu. Pretty much a bunch of quality of life stuff that'll make the game more accessible to play. Data discoveries are in full swing today, and 2 games have been data mined. GTA Online originally had a mode featuring zone control of different territories around Los Santos, and Konami's PT playable teaser in which unused models have been found. And then this PS4 Devkit was found in a storage container which was auctioned off. What's even more interesting is the system contains data from United Front Games, a studio which has now been shut down. Unfortunately, the data on the drive has been encrypted and is behind an expired license. Which brings us to our release announcements, with the demo of Resident Evil 7 finally coming to PC and Xbox One. Get ready to play it on December 19th. Speaking of Resident Evil 7, the demo has received an update which provides a solution to the mysterious dummy finger. If you want to know, you can find the solution down below. I'm not going to spoil it for you just in case you want to figure it out for yourself, but what I will tell you is solving the puzzle nets you an in-game item for the full release. What was suspected to be Marvel vs. Capcom 4 turns out to be Marvel vs. Capcom Infinity and will release for PC sometime in March. Also coming to PC is Mechwarrior 5, which developer Paragon says will contain a full single-player campaign. Nvidia has released driver update 376.19 in order to prepare for the launch of the Oculus Touch controllers releasing tomorrow. Pokemon Go has been updated, which should restore all of the functionality to gyms. Kingdom of the Fighters 14 is getting a graphical upgrade in January as part of its 1.10 patch. The Escapists is getting into the holiday spirit with a new winter theme mapped and 20 new items as part of an update coming December 8th. Continuing on with updates is Heroes of the Storm, which adds Ragnaros to the public test realm. And then our last update is for Stellaris, which adds free DLC called Horizon Signal. Ace Combat 7 has this new trailer out, signifying its PSVR support. Yakuza 6 also has a new trailer out, marking its North American release sometime in 2017. Finally, for teasers, Lara Croft Go did indeed release over the weekend from Square-Enix. Speaking of Square, they're accused of a terrible business practice reminiscent of what Bethesda started earlier this year. Find out what later today on News Cartridge. Today's top story is The Last of Us Part 2, which was announced at the PlayStation Experience over the weekend. This trailer was put out showing us a glimpse of the game, which will follow Ellie, one of the main characters from the first game, but no longer the 14-year-old girl she once was. She will now be the game's main character, and according to Neil Druckmann, the game's creative director, Ellie will play much different than Joel. The trailer is rendered in-engine, but obviously with custom animations, but still looking absolutely gorgeous. Are you excited for The Last of Us Part 2? Well, let me know in the comment section down below. After many months of silence from Blizzard, the team behind the Nostalrius Vanilla WoW servers have set a date to recommence their services. As you may remember, they had been trying to get into contact with Blizzard for quite some time, and after this year's BlizzCon had passed, they formally announced they would continue to offer a Vanilla WoW experience free of charge. On December 17th, 12 days from today, their servers will go live once again. Now, as you would imagine, this is going to cause some legal issues. Blizzard has already sent Nostalrius a cease and desist letter because their operations not only violated World of Warcraft's end-user license agreement, but could jeopardize their rights to their intellectual property. More than likely, this will end up in court, and I personally would not want to be on the receiving side of a Blizzard lawsuit. Stay tuned to News Cartridge as more details unfold. In the quick spot today is an article from Kotaku which points out a really interesting coincidence in the 2 Death Stranding trailers that have been presented. At the exact same point in the trailer where Guillermo del Toro's character hooks a tube into the device carrying the human fetus, the child disappears from Norman Reedus' arms in the first. Now, this could be nothing, but it sure doesn't help that Kojima himself retweeted the Kotaku article. Do you think that there's some sort of connection here? Do you think it's some sort of coincidence? Let me know in the comment section down below. Finally today, a great example of why game developers are not your friend and what can happen if they simply don't like you. Area Yogans is a Spain-based company that sees nearly 750,000 views per month. Recently, they gave Final Fantasy XV a score of 7.5 out of 10, and then allegedly got a call from someone representing both Square-Enix and parent company Coke to inform them Square would no longer be sending them review copies. Both companies have not responded to a request to comment on this issue. What this ultimately means is the close to 1 million people in free advertising that Square was receiving from this website just isn't worth it. If this is indeed the case, this is completely anti-consumer behavior because regardless of how much people trust that media publication, people are still going to go out and buy it just to see it for themselves. In the long run though, it's not that bad because games publications like this will just go out, buy it for themselves, and review it anyway. Oh boy, it's time for tomorrow's game releases for PC: Patchwork, Dead Hungry, Shadow Tactics, Blades of the Shogun, Arizona Sunshine, Kranga, Harbor Frenzy, 3D Chest, and Sacred Almanac: Traces of Greed. For PlayStation 4, The Last Guardian, Werewolves Within, Ark Survival Evolved, Zen Pinball 2, Bethesda Pinball, Space Overlords, and Red Faction. For Xbox One, Dead Rising 4 and Zen Pinball 2, Bethesda Pinball. For PlayStation Vita, Demetrios, The Big Cynical Adventure, and Space Overlords. Thank you very much, everybody. This has been News Cartridge. I am Dandruff. I will see you tomorrow. And how much room is needed for fungi to grow? As much room as possible.